Welcome to the new video. The International Criminal Court has issued a arrest warrant against the Russian President Mr. Vladimir Putin. Also, obviously, against one another person, the lady Miss Maria. But the issue of arrest warrant against Mr. Vladimir Putin has caught all the attention. Now, it is a very interesting issue. I won't be going into the things that whether it is right or wrong. I will be just putting forward the legal position that you should know the laws that govern the functioning of International Criminal Court, what things can take place in future, how the ICC, the International Criminal Court, functions, and what was the reasoning, what was the crime for which arrest warrant has been issued. Now, it must be understood that the Russian president has been said that he is guilty or a charge has been tried to be framed. The arrest warrant has been issued against him rather following two charges. First, war crimes and individual criminal responsibility. But before that, it is important to understand the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. Now, the International Criminal Court can only and only exercise jurisdiction over its state parties, the crimes that take place in countries which are state party to the Rome Statute, or the countries which file a declaration into it, or the last resort being the United Nations Security Council refers a particular situation to the International Criminal Court. Now, Russia is not a state party to the Rome Statute. But Ukraine comes here in picture. So as per Article 12, paragraph 3 of the Rome Statute, Ukraine filed a declaration before the International Criminal Court accepting the jurisdiction with regard to the crimes that are taking place in Ukraine. Right now, when they filed a declaration, it meant at the time of filing they specially included the areas which have been illegally annexed by Russia. Now, at first, it must be understood that the declarations were filed, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around 2012, 2014, Crimea War, and or during all of that duration. Now, what the ICC held that the declaration of Ukraine is valid even for the portion which are now under control of Russia, because the United Nations passed a declaration that no country or no body shall accept that those regions are a part of Russia, as its annexation itself was illegal. And hence the ICC came to the ruling that although currently Russia is exercising control over those regions, still a declaration filed by Ukraine would be considered valid. Now, that gave the powers to the ICC to investigate into the crimes taking place in Ukraine. And this is why the International Criminal Court refers it to be situation in Ukraine. So, the arrest warrant has been issued against Mr. Putin in the situation in Ukraine. Right now, the crime. What is the crime? First, war crimes, and to be very specific, unlawful transfer of population and deportation of population. Right. So what has been said specifically that the Russian president has forced unlawful deportation of population, which in the present case has been said to be children, right, and unlawful transfer of population, which is again children, from the occupied areas of Ukraine to the Russian Federation, right. So it is a very interesting. At first, you say to be occupied areas of Ukraine, which means, as it is claimed, to be Russia. So in a way you are saying deportation of children from Russia to Russia. However, those regions, the occupied Ukraine is not considered to be Russia. But the interesting part being, ICC is not a court that can decide on the issue whether the annexation is valid or invalid. Right? This is something that can fall maybe within the jurisdiction of ICJ, but it cannot fall within the jurisdiction of ICC. And this raises certain questions that whether the exercise of jurisdiction over those areas, because currently Russia is exercising sovereign rights over it, sovereign control over it. Now I may be wrong, you can please feel free to express your opinions in the comments, and do let me know if you feel it differently. But that it might be through a wrong way that they are exercising control over that region, or it might be through wrong ways that they are exercising control over that region. But the truth remains is that they are exercising control over that particular region. And so from one country to the other country, deportation as a crime does not sound to be too good. Next, individual criminal responsibility. Now you need to understand that the Rome Statute in this aspect is very much different from the Indian Penal Code or national laws of various other countries. Under the Rome Statute, an individual can be held responsible for actions done by its juniors. So now, because the Russian army is under the direct control of the Russian president, and he is very well aware of the acts that are being done and is capable to stop them from doing such acts, but despite the knowledge that they are committing such crimes, he hasn't taken any actions against them, he can be held responsible. That's individual criminal responsibility. Further, superior responsibility. So there are two articles, 25(3)(a) of the Rome Statute and 28(b) of the Rome Statute, that are attracted. So having committed the act directly, jointly with others, or through others, obviously through others, or his failure to exercise control over civilian and military subordinates. So that is what has attracted charges against him. Further, something very interesting that came in the press conference of the International Criminal Court. They said that we are making this issue of arrest warrant public because we believe that this will help us to stop the crime in those regions, as it might create a sense of fear and they won't do such crimes. It sounds funny. It sounds really, really funny that, the International Criminal Court has been criticized a lot for being the most toothless organization, for being the most toothless international organization. It has literally zero powers. It has faced criticism that it can only and only exercise its powers against weaker countries. There have been various matters that have been referred to ICC in past. The situation in Afghanistan was brought before the International Criminal Court. They did not take an action. Why? Because there the accused belonged to countries such as Australia. Australia came forward and said sorry for the crime that were committed by its military personnel in the country. Britain, America. Same was the case for the situation in Syria and various other situations as well, where it was alleged that the crimes have been committed by military personnel or other people in powerful posts in some powerful countries. They did not exercise their powers. They did not exercise their jurisdiction. Now here they say that we are very weak, we know where we are, but just by issue of a single arrest warrant we can create fear in the minds of the Russian president. Now that itself sounds like a joke. And they also know it very well that it will have zero impact. You cannot do anything. You simply cannot do anything. And everyone knows that nothing can happen in this scenario. Nothing can happen in this scenario. But it would be a very big day in international history if some strong actions are taken against the Russian president, because that will show the much necessary power of the International Criminal Court, and then that can create fear in the minds of each and every powerful country that they have to be very mindful before committing any such acts. But yes, as of now it looks to be something that is motivated politically, that has been done under influence, under some pressure, or with some ill intent. But that does not mean that the Russian president is not guilty. Obviously, he has committed crimes. Obviously, the crimes that he has committed are much more heinous than the charges that are being proposed against him. But others have also committed such crimes. So it would be interesting to see what happens next. What are the next steps that the ICC takes? Because that can really decide in what direction the world goes. Thank you so much. That's it in this video. I hope you were able to understand the entire issue, the entire dispute, and how the International Criminal Court functions. If please feel free to express your opinions in the comment box. Do like the video if you found it to be informative. Do share it with all your friends and do subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.